Hey, what's up everybody? In this video I've got an interesting little story about how Wells Fargo has defrauded me several times. Now, at the end of the video there's another description of what they did to me with my jewelry card that you're going to want to check out. So, if you get bored of me ranting about what they did to me the first time, skip to the end. You're going to love this. And if you have a jewelry card with them, this has happened to you, I guarantee it. Just something to be on the lookout for you. It's a little trick they do to you. They're not like any other credit card company out there. They're completely different. They're savages. So stick around, and like I said, once you get the gist of what they did to me in the first scam, if I sound a little repetitive, just skip to the end of the video for the second round. What's going on, everybody? This video is about Wells Fargo and Wells Fargo ripoffs and scams. I want to tell you guys a little story about what Wells Fargo did to me. I recently requested a Wells Fargo balance transfer because of an offer they had. I think they might have even sent me the offer. So I fill out the form for the offer that they sent me, okay, requesting a balance transfer for $4,800. And what do? So they sent me this credit card for $2,000. I'm like, what is this nonsense? I don't need a credit card. So I let this credit card just sit there. Like, I'm not gonna use this thing. I didn't want a credit card. You just dinged my credit up for nothing. I wanted a $4,800 balance transfer with 0% APR because I've got a $25,000 check coming in a couple of months. So I figure I'll dump these guys for a 0%er and then won't have to worry about my American Express. So I get an email last night about 3 in the morning from American Express that thank you for your $1,800 payment we just received. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? So get on the phone, call American Express. Nobody knows where this charge came from, and they told me they can't cancel the transaction. So I called Wells Fargo to see if maybe they did it, and sure enough, Wells Fargo granted me a $2,000 credit card when I requested $4,500. Now, when I told American Express about this, their jaws were dropping. They said, sir, our policy is to not allow any activity between us if we can't provide the request. So because American Express couldn't provide a $4,800 loan, they would have never sent me a credit card to do that. They said it's against their policy. So here's the kicker, guys. They sent me a check also. I don't want to show you the whole check, but they sent me this check. Also, after putting an $1,800 balance on my card. And she said she thinks it's even against the law what they've done. I ain't got that far yet. I'm calling my lawyer next. But so essentially they send me this $2,000 card which just sits idle for weeks and weeks. I'm not going to use this thing. It's a credit card scheme, right? So I get the email. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they decide to just drop $1,800 onto my American Express account, which is my business account, okay? And I called them up and was a little irate, and they put me on hold so long, I decided, wait a minute, why am I dealing with these con artists? So I hang up on them. They weren't going to do anything for me, by the way. She was pretty much telling me she was going to hang up on me if I didn't calm down. So I was getting a little irate with her responses. She was talking to me like she was a Democrat. You want to be mad at me for saying that? Fine. I don't care. I'm just a little hot right now that they did this to me. So if I were you, I would never go anywhere near Wells Fargo. They gave me a $2,000 credit line that I did not request, simply to get me into their greedy little clutches. And they are now refusing to take the payment back. But I want to tell you something. American Express is a great company to work with. Why am I saying that? Because I contacted them, let them know what's going on again, and the wonderful woman on the other end of the line was like, hold on a second, Robert, I think I can do something for you. So what does she do? She gave me a refund of the $1,800 to my personal bank account. So I can now pay those rat bastards back at Wells Fargo, chop up the credit card, and then call them up and basically chew their ass for ripping me off. I just want to put this online for you guys. Anyone who's considering doing any business with Wells Fargo, I suggest you don't, because what they did was very tricky. and very sinister. What if I would have got that card and started using it? Now I'm like, it's just a disaster, guys. If they couldn't have given me the $4,500, they should have declined and let me shop elsewhere. I don't need an $1,800 balance transfer on a $4,800 charge on a card. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll get their money back. American Express was actually willing to help me, to their own advantage, of course. I mean, sure, they don't want to give up balance transfers. Credit card companies hate them. That's taking their money away. So they were obliged to continue ripping me off with the high interest rate. Right on, American Express. But at least now I can kick Wells Fargo down the road, send them on their way. Hey everybody, I also wanted to point out some of the unscrupulous behavior that goes on with my jewelry card, credit card as well. There's been months where I have paid 3 times over the minimum, which I always do. The minimum payment's like $150 and I'll pay like $450, okay? And one time I paid it a few days too early, according to them. They hit me with a late charge that month and said, no, that was last month. You gave us $600 last month, but we didn't get nothing from you this billing cycle. So even though I had just given them $600 last month, they would not carry that over. So you got to watch these guys, man. Anything they can burn you on. Then check this out. I call them up and say, hey, look, I gave you guys 3 times the minimum payment this billing cycle, yet you hit me with $38 on a late fee, which, had I not been diligent, I would not have known about. You've really got to peer through. They're counting on people not to do their due diligence, okay? So I called them up and there was 2 or 3 of these things. I'm never late on none of my credit card payments, ever. Haven't been for 10 years. Not a single day. And they're gonna pull this crap on me? So they tell me they're gonna take it all off and it'll be taken care of. Well, guess what? 2 months later, I get back on there. Still got 2 of the late charges. Call them up, chewing them out. They tell me, oh, well, it's processing. So they were hoping I just wouldn't bother with it again. I don't know. It's probably still there. So beware. There's better places to get a credit card than from these crooks. They even ripped off our government. So this is what I think of Wells Fargo. I just had it. Like, who does this to people? I give them $300 or $450. A few days early before the billing cycle, and they hit me with a late fee. 3 times the minimum payment for that month. And that's how they treat their customers. I'm gonna mail this to them, I think. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna mail it to them. Give me an envelope. I'm gonna call them up, and as soon as I pay, give them a piece of my mind. I might record that and let you guys hear how they talk to their customers. So, at any rate, I just want to share that for any of you diligent shoppers out there who want to know about credit card companies, because before I do business with people, I usually do get online and research, and average everyday people are like a godsend. So I'm giving back to the community with my ugly face and ranting. So there you go. Just buyer beware. Don't mess with Wells Fargo. I'm going to leave the website link to this location in the description so you guys can look through at some of the shady stuff that they're up to. I had no idea. And then here they are opening credit card accounts that I did not authorize. I authorized a $4,500 balance transfer. So they're on some really fraudulent stuff. Wow, man. Unreal. It just goes on and on. So I'm going to leave this in here for you guys. And just, man, stay away from Wells Fargo.